Like always, appreciate you guys coming down and covering Penn State football. Like always, I appreciate everybody coming in and coming down and covering Penn State football. Obviously, the biggest factor to me in the game that stood out in the second half was the quarterback running game. We did a really good job in the first half of limiting explosive runs. But in the second half, they made an adjustment and made a commitment to run the quarterback. We had a couple opportunities to get tackles for loss. That would have got them off schedule, missed them in that opening drive. He broke tackles, and from that point on, we had a difficult time stopping the run. Obviously, some guys played a significant amount of reps. I thought our guys played extremely hard, but we did not play well enough, obviously, to win the game. Defensively, 3 trips to the red zone. Weren't able to get points off of that. 1 missed field goal and obviously an interception. Got to give Arkansas credit. Got to give them credit. Obviously, we didn't play well enough to win. So love these guys. Love these seniors. How they battle all year long. Obviously, we'll get back after break. Get back for the start of next semester and get to work. So open up the questions.
Mike, we'll start with you.
James, what was the adjustment that they made that allowed them to run? It seemed like up the middle so much.
Yeah, they committed to running the quarterback. So they went with zone read on the perimeter, and then they went zone read inside where they were reading the linebacker, and if he ran over the top with the running back, then they pulled it and hit the quarterback up inside. But they committed to running the quarterback in the second half, and that was obviously a major factor in the game.
Rich?
James, why did the offense struggle so much in the second half as opposed to the first half when you were able to move the football? Well,
I think, to be honest with you, we had a couple of big plays in the first half. We weren't consistent enough, but we were able to create some big plays. We did make those plays in the second half. We had opportunities, dropped some balls. They did a good job with their cover 0, being extremely aggressive, but we could not get in and out of our checks fast enough to be efficient enough. So, got to give them credit.
James, Kevon Lee had some splash plays early, and then he didn't touch the ball for about 2 quarters. Dan, what was the dynamics that led to him not touching the ball again for so long?
Yeah, we need to run the ball more consistently. There's no doubt about that. We can't go away from it. We did some good things in the first half. We got to keep those things mixed in, and we didn't do that. I agree with you.
James, you had indicated that you might burn Budden and Kobe's red shirts. What went into the decision not to do that? And what sort of position did that put you in depth-wise, obviously, with some of the guys you didn't have?
Yeah, so what we'll do in all these situations, I think you guys know, we'll sit down with the coaching staff and we'll sit down with the players, and sometimes we'll include the parents in that conversation. And both of those guys would have played and would have had to play if we had some injuries, but they wanted to preserve their red shirts.
James, what do you think of the effort you got from Smith and Vilbert today?
Yeah, obviously, 3 sacks. I knew he had a couple sacks. I didn't know he had 3 for an Outback Bowl record. So obviously that is promising for our future. It's going to be really, really important, that he continues to grow and continues to develop. Obviously, coming to Penn State, he was a new to football guy, being mainly a basketball player. So excited about his development, and that'll be something to build on for sure.
James, what was the situation with Sean bringing him out of the game, and what did you think of his performance overall?
Yeah, the medical staff brought Sean out of the game. I thought he played gutsy. I thought he battled. Obviously, he made some plays, but there's also some plays I know he would like to have back. And I think there's some things that we can do to help him as well.
Yeah.
James, could you take us through the couple of the field goal situations using Pinniger? Is that looking ahead, and also the fake punt toward the end of the half there?
Yeah, Pinniger was the field goal kicker for the last game of the year. I thought we talked about that, but he was the field goal kicker for the last game of the year. We made that change to take some off of Stout's plate. Stout had punted and kicked off really well all year long. We were a little inconsistent in the field goal game. So we made that change at the end of the season, so that was consistent. There at the end of the half, it was a 54-yard field goal. We didn't feel good about kicking it. We had a fake in the game plan. Felt like in that situation we'd either get a pass interference call, or I was hoping that they would catch the interception, which would have been as good as a punt.
John.
James, how would you evaluate Jesse Lucetta's play, given that he primarily played linebacker after switching back and forth all year?
Yeah, I'm a huge Jesse Lucetta fan, and I will pound the table for him with every single NFL team, GM, coaches. The guy is a football player. He loves football. He's a great teammate. He's played a lot of different positions, and as we all know, whether it's the NFL or any other industry, the more things that you can do to bring value, the better. So I'm proud of him. You know, he's smart, he's physical, does a lot of different things, and obviously, you know, with our linebacker situation, you know, that was something that was going to happen, and he embraced it, and I thought he played his tail off.
In the back of the football.
Coach, did it just get to a point where you just ran out of gas? They were just leaning on your defense so long?
Yeah, you know, obviously nobody wants to hear me say that, but was that a factor in the game? Yes. Obviously we had a depth situation, and we had a bunch of guys that played a bunch of football today that really hadn't played a bunch of football all year long. So I wasn't going to bring it up, but it is a fact.
Rich.
James, can you describe the way Parker played today and also Tig on defense?
Yeah, Parker, you know, I think you guys see there's a lot to be excited about in his future. Got tremendous ball skills. He's smart. He can make people miss. He's built more like a tailback than he is a running back, which I think helps him in a lot of different situations. Even some of the punts that he fielded and got some positive yards, even the over-the-shoulder punt he caught, that thing gets to the ground. You know, those are the 20 yards, you know, that are hidden yardage in a game that people don't think about, that he saved us. So obviously, coming in the next year to see Parker and to see Keandre, you know, really do some good things today, that's going to be important because obviously we're losing a lot of production in Jahan Dotson.
And Tig?
Oh, and Tig.
Okay.
So, excuse me, I apologize.
No
Thank you
problem.
for bringing that back up. Yeah, and you guys, I don't know if you know this or not, you guys were out at practice. Tig didn't practice all week long. Literally did not get cleared until Friday post practice. I'm not, as a coach, real happy about that because I can imagine he's going to tell me he doesn't have to practice all next year. But he's another guy. You know, he's another guy. Trenton, New Jersey, Lackawanna Junior College. Very appreciative of his opportunity at Penn State. Is a football player. Loves to play the game. I think he looked this year at kind of how Brisker coming back, how that played out for him, and you know the advantage for him and for us. And I think it makes sense for Tig. And the other thing, obviously, is graduation is really important to him and his family too. So that factored into it too.
We've got two last questions. Woogie.
James, after starting 5-0, how would you characterize the finish of this season?
Well, obviously, a pretty obvious question and answer. You know, not what we had hoped for. You know, obviously did some really good things early on. You know, made some huge plays, made some big time wins in some tough environments on the road to start the season. Had some injuries that we weren't able to overcome quickly enough. You know, but we're responsible for all that. I get it. But overall, I'm proud of the guys in that locker room. You know, not only as players, a lot of moving parts on the staff as well, which wasn't brought up. A lot of moving parts there as well, but that's part of college football now. So I'm very, very appreciative of the guys in that locker room, players, coaches, staff, and everybody else. But yeah, I get it. It's a fair question. You know, we started out 5-0, did some great things, and weren't able to finish the season the way we wanted to. But we got some things to work on. We'll get it fixed.
Last question, Neil.
James, do you anticipate any other movement with your staff? There was a report that Joe Lorig may be on the move. Can you address that?
Yeah, I'm not going to address that right now. Obviously, he's being pursued. You know, he is being pursued. I think you guys know that. That information has been out in the public. But we'll see how that plays out. You know, we'll see how that plays out. There's a lot of things that factor into this, as you guys could imagine. Some professional and some personal. But we'll see how that goes. I think you guys know I've been pretty adamant in the past about the type of moves, and lateral moves, but then there's also some factors when it comes to, where guys are from. Both Joe and his wife are from there, so that factors into this thing as well.
Thank you very much, Coach. We'll have players